You answered. Then silence came. Their eyes stayed on you. So you added one reason, then another. You were not changing your answer. You were trying to make it acceptable. But they stopped hearing the answer. They started hearing the defense. And the moment you defended it, your no became something they could hold, pull, question, and reopen. You said too much. Now, your no has handles, and this usually happens quietly, not in a big argument, not with someone yelling at you. It happens when you say, "I can't do that today." Then the other person pauses. They do not argue yet. They just look at you, and suddenly your own answer starts feeling incomplete. So you rush in to help them accept it. "I'm just really busy. I've had a long week. I would normally say yes. I hope that doesn't sound bad." And with every sentence, your answer loses weight. The first mistake is not explaining. Sometimes a short reason is normal. The mistake is continuing after the answer is already clear. You say no. Then you watch their face. Their eyebrows lift a little. Their mouth tightens. The conversation slows down. And instead of letting your answer stand, you start repairing the discomfort. You soften your voice. You smile too much. You add background. You explain your schedule. You mention your stress. You bring in details they never asked for. Now the focus has shifted. At first, you made a decision. Now you are presenting a case. And once you present a case, the other person can inspect it. They can question the timing. They can compare your reason to theirs. They can say, "Well, it should only take a minute," or, "But you said you were free later." That is the trap. You gave them material. Nobody can pull on a clean no, but they can pull on 5 reasons. Other people read over-explaining differently than you intend. You think it sounds considerate. They hear uncertainty. You think you are being polite. They hear a door that did not fully close. You think you are preventing conflict. They hear room to negotiate. This is why a simple answer can become a long conversation. You say, "I can't make it." They say, "Why not?" You answer. They ask one more question. You answer again. Then they suggest an adjustment. Then you explain why that adjustment will not work. Now you are not holding a boundary. You are managing their reaction to it. And the longer this goes on, the more your original answer fades. The conversation is no longer, "Can you come?" It becomes, "Is your reason good enough?" That is a dangerous shift, because now they are not respecting your decision. They are grading your explanation. And if they do not like the explanation, they treat the answer as unfinished. Every extra reason makes your answer less final. CTA. If this hits home, subscribe. We are building a place for calm people who are tired of being pushed past their own words. This is why pressure often comes after clarity. You answer clearly. They wait. You explain. They learn the wait works. So next time, they wait longer. They ask slower. They let silence sit on the table because silence makes you uncomfortable. They do not need to overpower you. They only need to make you keep talking. And once you keep talking, your words begin to loosen your own position. Maybe you say, I could maybe. Or, "It's not that I don't want to." Or, "I just don't know if." Now the no is no longer clean. It has become a maybe wearing a nervous face. That is where people press harder, not always because they are cruel. Sometimes because your own language invited the pressure. You gave a firm answer, then surrounded it with apologies. You placed your decision in front of them, then acted like they had to approve it. And people notice that. They notice when your boundary needs their comfort. They notice when your answer weakens under silence. They notice when your certainty depends on their expression. A boundary that needs approval is not a boundary yet. It is a request to be excused. You repeat this because silence feels rude. That is the hidden part. You are not trying to be weak. You are trying not to seem difficult. You do not want them to think you are selfish. You do not want the room to get cold. You do not want one small no to change how they see you. So you fill every gap. You make your answer softer. You add warmth. You add context. You add guilt before they can accuse you of it. But the cost is quiet. You begin training yourself to fear the pause after your own decision. And once you fear that pause, other people can use it. A coworker asks for help at the last second. You say you cannot. They go quiet. You explain. A friend asks for a favor that drains your evening. You say no. They sound disappointed. You explain more. A family member questions your choice. You answer once. They stare. You reopen the whole thing. Now your peace depends on whether they look satisfied. That is not kindness. That is surrender wearing manners. The correction is simple, but it will feel uncomfortable at first. Give the answer. Give one clean reason if needed. Then stop, not coldly, not aggressively. Just stop. Let the sentence land. Let the other person meet the answer without you rushing to decorate it. You can say, "I can't take that on today." Then pause. If they ask why, you can say, "I already have commitments I'm keeping." Then pause again. If they keep pushing, you do not build a bigger courtroom. You return to the answer. "I understand, but I'm not available for that." Same tone, same pace. No extra story, no nervous smile, no apology tour. This is not about being harsh. It is about removing the handles. Because the more emotional material you give, the more there is to grab. The more details you offer, the more paths they can enter through. Stoic strength here is not silence before the answer. It is silence after the answer. That silence tells the other person, this is not a debate waiting for your permission. And it tells you something even deeper. You can survive someone's disappointment without betraying your own decision. So the next time you answer, watch the moment after. That is where the real test begins. Not when they ask, not when you decide, but when your clear answer meets their silence. Do not rush to rescue them from it. Do not turn your no into a speech. Do not hand them 5 reasons when one sentence was enough. A calm answer becomes stronger when you stop trying to make it painless. Your no does not need handles. It needs weight.